Hey gang, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, friends. I really do hope that, and yes, welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on this channel where I reflect on what's been said about Chelsea Football Club. I give you my opinion on it, more importantly, ask for yours. I'm a little bit under the weather today, so excuse me while I sound a little bit nasal and clear my throat every now and again. Today, we're discussing strikers. The sad news that Armando Broja is out for the season and needs surgery on his ACL. We'll reflect on an article from Nizar Kinsella from the Evening Standard, giving you details on that situation, and indeed updates from both Fabrizio Romano via Cy Phillips, talking about Chelsea's situation with Nkunku and looking in the January transfer market, which is, days away to replace Armando Broja, and Ben Jacobs on Twitter talking about Dusan Vlahovic, which is a really interesting one. Could he be a possibility for Chelsea in January? Wild, sensational scenes, all this to look forward to in today's video, so thank you for dropping a like, subscribing if you want to, and of course you can become a member now of Football Therapy by clicking join and the button below this video, somewhere down there below the studio. So do that if you'd like to. One football though, that's right, it's Messi's World Cup and we're just living in it. Lots of stuff going on to keep up with in terms of news, but of course transfer news is the big one. Chelsea transfer news is on One Football, but indeed, all football-related news is on One Football. It's the best and totally free companion app that you can get on your phone, iOS, Android, or just indeed the website. Click the link below to go check out One Football now. If you're yet to do it, what are you waiting for? It's free, mate, and I suggest that you do. A little glitchy freeze, a lagged transition. We're back in the studio. Right, so let's start off with the negative news that will lead to hopefully positive news. Yes, of course, we all heard the agonizing screams, or many of us did, of Armando Broja when he collided with Konsa in that pre-season friendly, which gave us profound flashbacks of the needless injury in a friendly of Ruben Loftus-Cheek when he did his Achilles. Terrible scenes. Naz Kinsella wrote this article, and I'll give you the update now. Chelsea striker Armando Broja is expected to be out for the entire season after being told he needs surgery to fix a ruptured cruciate ligament in his right knee. I think Nizar did his ACL, actually. The Chelsea striker will soon begin his rehabilitation program after suffering the injury in a 1-0 friendly defeat by Aston Villa in Abu Dhabi. God, that sentence is depressing. The 21-year-old was left in distress in the 22nd minute of the match after getting his boot stuck in the turf and twisting his knee while closing down the defender Ezri Konsa. The anterior cruciate ligament injury will leave the Albania international with a minimum of 5 months on the sideline, but it could be a maximum of 12 months. Man, it would leave him struggling to play any further part of this season. Yeah, poor. Yeah, so Graham Potter is attempting to revive Chelsea's poor form after the World Cup break following a run of 4 defeats in their last 5 matches. Broja's injury could attempt the free spending blues into the transfer market in January, with RB Leipzig forward Christopher Nkunku's move already said to be formalised, but that's of course for the summer. They may need a temporary option to fill the gap in the short term, and this is interesting with Atletico Madrid's João Felix possibly available on a loan deal with an option to buy. And former target Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, is a free agent. You may be a Cristiano Ronaldo stan, and I absolutely respect you if you are, but we have to accept this is a 38-year-old man who is not playing to his legendary ability anymore, and he's caused rifts and headlines, and he diverts attention away from the team, and it's absolutely not the option for Chelsea Football Club to move forward, and for me, it is not the thing to do. Now, João Felix, he's not a striker per se. He's a very exciting attacking player, and if you think, you can get him for 6 months on loan, you feel like that's relatively low risk. We all love Armando Broja. We want him to do well, and we wish him the best for his recovery, and we will look forward to his return. But despite all that, if there was someone who said, sadly you lose Broja for the rest of the season, but João Felix comes in for 6 months, you go, ooh, that's intriguing. Of course, if this kid cost 120 million as a teenager, he's mustard. But I've said it before recently on the channel, I do think he's got shades of Kai Havertz in terms of being very talented, versatile attacker, two-footed, glides, technical, misused, misunderstood. Is that the kind of player you want to come and save the day to replace a striker? I don't know. Regardless, it would certainly be interesting to bring in João Felix for a 6-month loan. If he sets the world alight, you buy him. If not, he filled a spot, Bria comes back in. We'll see what happens. But one thing's for sure, being confirmed, we almost certainly won't see Armando Bria again for the rest of this season. Fortunately for the lad, he's got a 6-year deal. He's got security, financial and stability and work security at Chelsea, and they'll look after him well. So we wish him the best and move on to look into other solutions. Alright, so I'm going to read on Cy Phillips' news website, who's citing the guru himself, Fabrizio Romano, talking about Chelsea Football Club and our scenario. Hopping in now, with Armando Broja being injured now for at least the rest of the season, there has been a lot of talk about possible new strikers that Chelsea will sign to replace him. The Blues are going forward to sign Christopher Nkunku, the aforementioned, of course, from Leipzig, and maybe debating whether they can bring that pursuit forward based on the Broja injury news. However, Fabrizio Romano made it clear today that Nkunku will still be for the summer, even despite this news, when he wrote in his comment on his column on Court Offside. So he gave exclusive updates on Chelsea's plan. Of course, Nkunku wants to stay at Leipzig. They are in the next Champions League round, I believe. They qualify for the group stages. They're in like a good position in the league. He's having a great season with RB Leipzig, scoring loads of goals. I don't think he wants to interrupt that form mid-season. You just want to complete a season, especially when it's going well. So I can understand from both player and club perspectives, they wouldn't want to screw that up, essentially. Okay, Romano says it's too early at the moment to know which strikers Chelsea will be looking to sign, but Nkunku will arrive no sooner than the summer, so it will need to be as well as him. Quote, Chelsea will actively work to find a new striker after the Armando Broja injury, Romano explained. Christopher Nkunku is expected to join in the summer, so they will look at other players. Now it's too early to say who are serious candidates. Chelsea will explore many options, but the idea is to sign a new striker in January to replace Broja. That is pretty seismic. It will be very interesting to see how this develops and what kind of strikers we'll look at for next month. This is huge news. It's huge news because we always figured like, okay, yeah, we're a striker down, we should look at one. But we still do have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, an experienced striker. We still have Kai Havertz, who plays a striker. We have a manager who's probably not dependent on the conventional number 9. And we still have players that have played the false 9 role. Of course, Pulisic's done it a few times. And indeed, Mason Mount's done a withdrawn sort of false 9 role with, like, for example, behind Ziyech and Pulisic, or, you know, Sterling and things. And Sterling played false 9 loads. My voice went higher because I forgot about him, and that's what my voice does when I remember something. Yeah, but Sterling, he's done it, I think, for Chelsea. He's certainly done it a lot for Pep Guardiola in phases. So you'd think, because of all that, you're like, oh, okay, we could probably survive that and wait till the summer and Nkunku's coming, you know, wait for a better transfer market to do business in. Which you might understand, but that's not exciting and fun. We want transfers. We want the dopamine hits in our brain that get us all excited and tingly and, you know, apprehensive. And especially when we're not currently scoring goals and looking great, fresh blood always makes you feel good. Gets the juices flowing. So, Chelsea categorically looking like they're going to sign a striker next month. There will be different options, of course. We've spoken a lot about Yusufa Moukoko, the kid who, I think yesterday's upload there was, the kid who scored loads of goals. Very, very impressive indeed. It does seem like as the days go by, it becomes more and more clear that Chelsea are very much interested, but understandably a kid of that talent, so are many other clubs, and Dortmund are desperately still trying to sign him onto a new deal. They'll probably cave to his demands, seeing the interest in him percolate more and more. But let's move on and talk about a interesting striker option. Bearing in mind, Kai Havertz, I think he's going to stay at Chelsea, but I feel like he needs to play more of a withdrawn role. Aubameyang is old, and let's be real, like, he hasn't looked great. We spent 15 million on Aubameyang. We could probably flog him in the summer for 15 million again to like Saudi side or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's like the biggest L in the world. This is not what I'm about to talk about Dusan Vlahovic, but Romelu Lukaku, apparently I did mention yesterday's video, apparently there's a loan rule coming in where you can't loan 2 years in a row or some sort of difficulty like that, where Chelsea had already agreed sort of initially and softly with Inter to loan him back for a second season. To see him into his 30s is such a big L for us to take that transfer, that loan. So that's really, really tricky. If Lukaku comes back in the summer, like, the fans don't want him back. He doesn't want to come back. I don't know what his relationship might be like with Graham Potter. Obviously, he had issues with Thomas Tuchel, but he might like Graham Potter. But he looks absolutely shot for confidence, Romelu Lukaku. And you think the best place for him to rebuild his confidence would probably be Inter and not Chelsea in the Premier League, where he's like a figure of fun and he's a bit of a Harry Maguire up front at the moment. That's not the place to cultivate and re-earn and regenerate your confidence and form. Not the place. It's like we said about Saul when he came to Chelsea. He wasn't in form in Atletico Madrid. You don't come to the Premier League to find your form, to play yourself back into form. It's the highest level of football. You do it elsewhere. And when you're in form, you come to Chelsea and then you flop. And then you flop anyway. Whether you're Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, you're an in-form Romelu Lukaku from Inter, then you come to Chelsea and flop. You just can't win. Anyway, Ben Jacobs on Twitter, CBS reporter. He's talking about Dusan Vlahovic, of course, scored loads of goals for Fiorentina, a young Serbian striker who's playing, up front with Mitrovic internationally. And he obviously scored loads of goals for Fiorentina. He was talk of the town. Everyone wanted him. Arsenal really wanted him. But, a striker doing well in Italy. It's like gravity downhill to Juventus. You just end up at Juventus, and such was the way. But he hasn't had a great time. He's still a good striker. Could he come to Chelsea? Ben Jacobs on Twitter says this: told there is a very real possibility Dusan Vlahovic will leave Juventus in 2023. A January exit is not being ruled out for those close to him. Several top European clubs are in touch with his agent, including Chelsea, although not advanced at this point. Chelsea need a striker. He is a striker. He could be available next month. We're looking to buy next month. Interested clubs are trying to understand first and foremost how urgently or early Vlahovic is prepared to move on, and whether Juventus's off-field troubles and new incoming board has changed anything in their favour. Yeah, of course, the whole board, resigned, didn't they? Juve's been a sugar show for a long time now, haven't they? Vlahovic has 6 goals in 10 Serie A games. That's pretty good. That's more than 1 and 2. Maths. He's denied. He's unhappy playing under Max Allegri. They've been bad, though, haven't they? But Juve are open to cashing in, knowing the UCL is by no means guaranteed next season. Yep, because they're bad. And they may face sporting sanctions due to ongoing investigation into alleged false accounting. And maybe that's why the whole board resigned and got their hell out of there. Possibly. Speculation, allegedly, etc. It remains to be seen whether Arsenal try again, having pushed hard in January to sign him from Fiorentina, of course ending up going to Juventus, like I said. Gabriel Jesus' injury will naturally prompt links with the strikers and some concrete inquiries too, but nothing significant between Vlahovic and Arsenal just yet. Also, yes, he stopped scoring, Gabriel Jesus, for Arsenal, but he's been instrumental in their success. He's still making a lot of assists, occupying the right space, link-up play. It's the chemistry up front. And also, Brewer's out for the season. Gabriel Jesus is probably back in 10 weeks or something. So, do they want Vlahovic stepping on his toes? I don't know. Maybe not. Most suitors felt prior to the World Cup there was an opportunity for a summer transfer, especially PSG. Always PSG. Go away, PSG. January now not possible, although Vlahovic is dealing with a groin injury. There's been a persistent problem for him. I think it's like January now is not impossible. It's changed, basically. So January opening up, basically. Juventus are running further tests, and some suitors may be wary of this injury record. Definitely a name to watch, despite only having been at Juventus a year. Yeah, Man United as well. Naturally, they're going to be linked because, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo's is out of there. But the thing is with Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, he was only like a second striker, wasn't he? Like it's not like he was starting all the games, but they still used him, and he still like took a squad place with all those wages and stuff. So they'll be looking to I suppose, replace that and get a second striker. But he's not going to be a second striker at United. Maybe he starts, though. Maybe he starts down the middle at United, Rashford off the left, Antony off the right. You know, Martial is often injured as well. So maybe they're just, maybe they just need a starting striker. Very interesting, though. Of course, you'd have to say they're doing better than Chelsea at the moment. I'm looking at, briefly looking at Vlahovic's good strengths on FBref. I'm not going to put it up on the screen. I'm just going to quickly tell you. But it's he's in the high percentiles for shot creating actions, shots on target, shots totals, progressive passes received. Generally, he's good at pressing. He doesn't get dribbled past and stuff. So he's not been in scintillating form. These are all sort of 86 to 95, which is very, very positive. Green bars you want to see. Lots of green bars. But he exploded at Fiorentina, didn't he? So let's quickly look at that as well, because I want to remind you how many goals he scored at Fiorentina, and this is why, Juventus essentially bought him, and he caused a big storm, So he's got 6 goals and 1 assist in 850 minutes, which is actually very good in Serie A this season, despite Juventus. I think he had a really poor start after the January they bought him. But I'm going to have a look now quickly. So, yes, wow. So, okay, in 21 games that he played before they bought him from Fiorentina, he scored 17 goals and 2 assists. So that's in the first half of the season. Remember, they bought him in January. 17 goals, 2 assists, 19 goal involvements in the league in the first half of the season. And the previous season, he ended the... bearing in mind, he's playing for Fiorentina as well. He's not playing for a massive juggernaut in Italy. He scored 21 goals and 3 assists in the previous season. So, he scores a lot of goals. He's 22 years old, bro. So he's super young. So he's got a lot of development to do. He's in then right in that slot to get better, hopefully. It's certainly interesting, though. It does make you wonder that if he's going to be one of these, not one season wonders, but these the Bellottis of this world. Remember Andrea Bellotti's had that one amazing season for Torino, doing all the rooster celebrations, and everyone wanted him, and he never really kept it up. And there was that other striker, I always forget, around the same time, that was the talk of a town for 12 months and disappeared into the ether, and the form dissipated. Is he an option? I don't know. Oh, it's a long video, so I'm going to start wrapping up. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I look forward to your comments down in the comment section. Like I said, if you do want to join the Football Therapy Goat Gang Club, you can click join. It's $1.99 a month, the minimum charge, and you get badges, emojis, and comment reply stuff on the back end that I need to look at. It's only if you want to support the channel. It's up to you. You're welcome to. Enjoy the football. Peace.